As the adventurers traverse the cavern, they round the bend, expecting to find the lightning-spewing dragon the townsfolk had described, only to behold a monstrosity. With 6 pairs of sharp, clawed legs, a long serpentine body, and a draconian head, the creature looked more akin to a sea serpent than a dragon. Sure enough, however, the townsfolk's description held true, as from the creature's maw spewed forth a lightning bolt that would rival that of even an adult blue dragon. This creature was known as a Behir. Welcome back to the deck of many toy boxes, ladies and gentlemen, and descend into the cavern depths with me as we learn how to run a Behir. We start off with the stat block as always. The Behir is a huge monstrosity, with neutral evil tendencies. It has dragon-like skin, giving it a natural AC of 17, and has 168 hit points to boot. The creature's many legs aid its speed in combat, as shown by its impressive 50-foot speed and 40-foot climbing speed. As for raw ability scores, the Behir boasts a 23 in strength, a 16 in dexterity, and an 18 in constitution, showing that on the physical side, this creature has the might of some of the colors of dragons. As for mental stats, the creature is stupid, okay? It has an intelligence of 7. Backed up by a relatively low wisdom of 14 and a low charisma of 12, we could see the Behir is a brawler, not a thinker. The Behir boasts proficiencies in the perception and stealth skills, making this 40-foot-long sneaky boy surprisingly stealthy. The creature is, of course, immune to lightning. It does breathe this stuff, after all. It'd be kind of weird to be damaged by your own breath. It has a 90-foot dark vision and a passive perception of 16. The creature speaks Draconic, oddly enough. When we cover some of this creature's lore in a minute, you'll see why this is peculiar. Finally, we round off the top half of the stat block with a nice CR of 11, giving our lightning worm a +4 proficiency bonus. With no special abilities on this beast, we unfortunately need to move straight into its actions. The Behir has a multi-attack routine of 1 bite and 1 constrict. It can't use any of its 12 legs in combat, I suppose, or its tail. While the bite is your standard piercing damage, 22 to be exact, the constrict attack is unique. The constrict does both 17 bludgeoning from the crushing force and 17 slashing. Hey, that's where the claws went. And it grapples the target, requiring an impressive DC 16 strength check to break out of. Not only is the target grappled, however, they are also restrained. Now on to the most interesting feature of a Behir, that being its lightning breath, which recharges on a 5 or 6. This lightning breath is as powerful as the breath of an adult blue dragon, doing 66 lightning damage to creatures in a 20-foot line. So it's not quite a blue dragon because the range is significantly smaller. But you know, for a CR 11 creature, that's quite a bit of punch. The final action present on most huge monsters, and on this one, is the Swallow. The Behir makes a bite attack against a creature it is grappling, and that creature is swallowed, if it's medium-sized or smaller. The swallowed creature has all the properties of a swallowed creature, which I will put on the screen right now. And the swallowed creature takes 21 acid damage. Each turn, it's inside the Behir's stomach. Very brutal. Now, with that nice, easy-to-digest stat block out of the way, let's talk about Behir behavior and a small amount of its lore. I'll start with addressing my earlier comment regarding the Behir's language being draconic. According to 5th edition, Behirs were created by storm giants during the giants' war against dragons, hence the reason they can breathe lightning, because storm giants have the ability to control lightning. Considering they have a fierce rival with dragons, fight them for territory and treasure, and were made specifically to kill dragons, why do they speak Draconic? It doesn't make sense to me. Personally, I would modify the stat block slightly to make the Behir speak Giant instead of Draconic. Overall, this is an unimportant issue that I'm sure has a lore reason for existing, but as far as my surface level analysis goes, it doesn't make much sense. As for behavior, I already described it a little. Behirs hoard treasure and live in caves similar to mini dragons. Unlike dragons, however, the Behir is a much simpler creature. With a low intelligence of 7, the usual motivator for a Behir fighting the players is that it wants to eat them. This greatly affects how the Behir will behave in our encounter. The hoarding tendencies of a Behir should be informed to the players who are curious about the creature, as this will lead to the party feeling like their expended class abilities and spell slots weren't just used to fill the XP bar. Now, on to the encounter. With a dexterity score of 16, it is reasonable to assume that the Behir has a good chance of not being last in the initiative. 16 is actually pretty high as far as most monsters go. We will put him second in the order, accounting for that pesky rogue no one likes, but every party has. Being so early doesn't give the party much time to react, allowing the Behir to quickly charge and constrict the nearest person, biting anyone that is still within reach of its gaping maw. It would then, on the following turn, if it suffered minimal damage and still has the grapple, proceed to swallow the player. They have large stomachs, so it's okay. After swallowing, if it was successful, the constrict is free, so now it can go constrict somebody else. The Behir would save its lightning breath until it feels very threatened. I would even go so far as to say it is smart enough to identify the character doing the most damage, pesky rogues, and blast them. The monster is simple to run, as its abilities aren't super complex. Just bite, constrict, swallow, zap, repeat. Overall, the Behir should be a fun and interesting encounter, as I am sure many of your players will not have heard of this monster. Use it to supply a struggling party with some needed magic items and an XP boost, and overall the Behir will make a memorable encounter, especially if it swallows some of the players. Thank you guys for learning how to run a Behir with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment detailing what monster you would like us to learn how to run next. Bye-bye!